Cameron, good evening. You spend a lot of time in church around some punk ass little kids. All the times you could have been learning how to be in the music industry, they would never let you play on the drum set. Never wanted to give you a chance to try. They thought they were too good to share. They were selfish. You've been getting hate on from a young age, and you've just now realized it, like since you were so young, just getting hate on, just not even consciously aware that people are despising you for being yourself, because you've never done that to them. It's literally, I've never felt like I've hated somebody until recently. So I've never been like, I need to do something to stop this person. And people have been doing that to you your entire life. And it's funny how in church, the pastor was always like, he was always saying these prayers, we're going to get some stocks, some bonds, some real estate. Stocks, bonds, real estate. Like every Sunday. That shit must have stuck with me. It had to, because that's what I got right now. I got real estate. I got stocks. I haven't bought a bond yet, but soon I will. So it's like, I just do that shit and ride the wave to $1 billion. But it's funny how, like, I don't know if it stuck with anybody else in the church, but it definitely resonated with me, clearly. So I guess in some ways, he as a pastor instilled that seed. And then a couple years after I stopped going to the church, I really began to develop an interest in buying my own land, owning my own land. Yeah, it's funny how like I didn't develop the interest until after I stopped going to the church. So that probably means there were some oppressive people there who were hindering my ability to express myself. Otherwise, if I was interested, I'd be interested. If I wasn't, I wouldn't. But it wouldn't be latent. It's latent. It was latent. So I wasn't strong when I was a child, honestly. So even on that point, a lot of the whoopings I got from my dad were really abuse. They were abuse. And I believe they made me more neurotic and scared as an adult, especially scared to confront grown men, because my dad would punch me. So, and headbutt me. So I think that's instilled some fear of conflict. It has instilled fear of conflict inside of me, which I can overcome through strength building and learning how to fight. Just fighting, getting into more fights, winning races, winning competition, winning. Will unlock all those years of suppression, honestly, from inside of the church, from my own parents, my mom, my dad. And so there was a time in church where they were, this one youth leader teacher, she told me, Cameron, next Wednesday, Bible study, you're going to teach the lesson. I was like, me? She's like, yeah, get ready. I got ready for that. I was going to preach the gospel. And it's something she just bestowed upon me. It wasn't anything that I needed to seek out. It came to me. So I'm a speaker, orator. You know what that means? Yeah, you know what that means. Another thing is, I think it's right. I should go buy Demetrius. I do want to finish out this arc of Cam Catches a Pony, but Demetrius is just more. It's more. And everyone loves it. I love it. It has a deep history to it. It sounds like, it's a long ass name. Demetrius. That's like 4 syllables. So we're gonna have to pause when they say your name. So say my name. So there's that. I also feel like I think a lot of like when I growing up, I did get a lot of good direction from my mom and from my dad. I can say that. My mom definitely stood up for herself when they had arguments. And my dad, my mom left my dad. So she definitely stood up for herself inside of, like, whenever they were arguing over some shit. But I've never been able to express to myself that, like, I've always left, like, anybody I've dated, I've left them. But I've never told them what they needed to do to change if they didn't want me to leave them. I kind of left that unspoken, I think. To say like, hey, you need to do this or I'm gonna leave, or you can get out, or this is over, or we're done. So it's just kind of been more me responding to what they've done, having these resentments, which I feel like I got more from my mom than from my dad. And never being able to like to confront them, partly because I feel like my dad beat me, so then I wasn't like not really like a confrontational person after that. Like after I started getting whoopings, it's like a lot of whoopings. I got a lot of whoopings. That's just how I remember it. So it's probably a lot because I was a bad kid. I was fighting kids and all the time, and like. As a youngin'. But then I guess started getting all those whoopings, and then it made me more scared to do anything. So I became like the good kid out of fear of physical harm. So the way around that is strength. Learning how to fight. I don't want to say defend myself. It's more about like how to be aggressive and beat the shit out of somebody. Make them shit themselves. That type of shit, or black them out. So I'll be learning that very recently in the future, in the near future, on, you know, instilling that aggression. Now I'm putting the aggression back into myself by putting the strength back into myself to remove the handicap of the abuse as a child, which has prevented me from being capable of handling conflicts. This probably will affect my speech pattern, definitely affect the way I carry myself, probably make me more aggressive, more muscles, more success. Life is a battlefield. But it doesn't mean that the battlefield is outside. The battlefield is also internal. And the internal aspect is much more important than the external aspect. All of these things I've talked about are all internal. No one can see these things. They're all inside of me. But the results are experienced on the outside, such as probably more dexterity, more speed, more strength, more force, more power, more money, more success, more glory, more fame. And it's just like, some things about childhood, you know, you can't do anything because you're powerless. But as now, I'm an adult, I can do whatever I want, and I can rework that shit. And it'll probably, my viewpoint about however, you know, things have happened in the past will more than likely change over the course of my life. I mean, it's guaranteed. I haven't felt like this about my childhood since like a couple weeks ago. So it'll definitely continue to change. And then this part of my life, I'll have a different aspect or a different opinion or perspective about this part of my life at multiple stages in my life. That's just natural. But at each new stage, each new plateau, I can course correct. But this time I'm going deep. I'm going to that deep, that bedrock. That bedrock shit. Talking about, I was younger than pre-K, fighting niggas, fighting little kids, never getting them back. We going back.